trying to
All right, I'm back.
magnimize their failures. You get what I'm saying, Omega?
Wait, hold on. Let me get it. Turn off the radio. What's the question?
So you're hearing that these two have a problem between each other, right?
Sounds like it.
Okay.
Could I ask you how, Omega? I don't really have an issue with anybody. I just point out issues when they come up. It's kind of with anybody.
Well, it seems like both names are being cross-passing each other more frequently than others. That's the only reason of this talk.
I mean, the only reason why his name came up recently out of my mouth is because the clip got put into the supervisor email. Other than that, I haven't talked about him since. I mean, I only really talk about people unless problems come up. I don't specifically go out of my way and say, "Hey, let's get Jamal in trouble today. Let's figure out what Jamal's doing."
No, that's not what we're saying. Like there was that, and then Jamal supposedly went into the PD chambers or the cells, and he was laughing about you not being in heat whenever you were supposed to be or some bullshit. Anyways, here's the bottom line. I really don't care. I do care. I 100% care. Okay. I 100% care about both of you guys' things. We need to be the best that we can be at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
Mike is a corporal. Mr. Black, you are DFC on the rise. You guys keep doing up the great work. Mike, eventually you'll be a sergeant. Mr. Black, if you continue here, you'll be a corporal. What I am hearing a lot about a couple of people, though, is I'm hearing like a lot of transfer. Every time somebody wants to say something like, well, I'll just transfer. So that's what I don't like hearing. Because I feel like we have built a really good department and are continuing to build a good department. So whenever somebody has a problem with somebody else, I just try to get to the very root of it as quick as possible, because both of you guys are very great officers and a very great aspect to BCSO at this point, and I need both of you in order to grow BCSO to where Sheriff Carter and Forrester and where I want it to be. So if you guys have any animosity between each other or anything like that, or so that's just the whole thing. Yeah.
About this. I mean, like I said, if I see a problem come up with something, I'm going to point it out. Like you said, you want this department to be best for the best. So
yeah.
I mean, I want people pointing out when people aren't doing something right. And if I feel as if I don't agree with something, then I might go the extra step and put my input in on it. But doesn't mean I'm going out of my way to, point somebody out or go at somebody specific. If I don't agree with,
I don't. Yeah, I don't think that's
maybe. I maybe that's why, because I kind of had a separate conversation with Omega on the whole situation back at Benny's. Maybe that's why he thinks that, but I'm not sure. But like I said, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm just bringing up problems as they come.
The one thing that I just didn't like is when the Benny situation, right, that was handled yesterday. I had one supervisor at the time in the cells. Basically, when the kid requested it, I had him as like, hey, while you're here, are you able to come deal with this part of the situation? He's requesting a supervisor, right?
Huh?
And so he came. He was like, yeah, I can do that because I've dealt with this kid before. I was like, perfect. There's another deputy first class there as well watching while he's doing his report clocked off. And then I sent the body cam in. The one thing that I didn't really like, and it's happened really twice now, Omega, when he was talking to me about it this morning, when the supervisor put in his comment of what he was basically, from what I told him and what he saw in the body cam yesterday, and put it in himself, and he told me, yeah, I'm gonna bring this up with the supervisor chair and whatnot. I'll see, but in my opinion, this is perfectly fine. Like, what you did is right. I said, okay. But then he also said, is from what Omega said to me this morning, is Mike over here, when Jesse said, yeah, there's no problem with that, Jamal did perfectly fine with that. And same with Omega, he said another thing, I forget what he said. But then Mike just kept going. Like, he just kept doing, trying to, prove that I did something wrong. And just kept stepping it up.
I don't think that. I don't 100%. I do not. I don't take it like that. I read the whole conversation. Okay. And and honestly, Omega, I don't understand why you're telling him this anyways. That should have been kept between the supervisors, number one. Number two, that is not how it went, okay? Mike was explaining the way that's how it works, bro. We all have opinions, and that's how we come together to make the best decision possible. Mike's opinion was a little bit different than anybody else's. Okay, you cannot fault somebody for their opinion. Again, at the end of the day, it is just an opinion, and you cannot force somebody's opinion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, from what Omega was sounding like, it was just like Mike gave his opinion and then just kept trying to like have something happen. You know what I mean?
Because he wanted to make sure that his opinion came across the way that he meant it, and that is the only thing that I took out of it.
I had one conversation with Omega over voice because I personally don't like talking over text. I don't feel as if you can get emotions off this.
Yeah, because it comes off weird.
You can with conversation.
Agreed.
So yes, I did have a conversation with Omega, and I did specifically tell Omega I'm not even looking at the incident with the tow truck. I'm not looking at that. And I specifically told Omega I don't see a verbal warning or strike needing to be seen. But what I did see was just a couple issues in the beginning on how the situation could have been handled. And at the end of the day, that's why we have the supervisor channels, because at the end of the day, the more people that look at it, the more eyes we can get on it, the more inputs we can get on it. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. After I had that conversation with Omega, he went and talked with you. It was said and done. But then I got a little bit confused, and since we're on this conversation, I kind of want to figure this out because I messaged Omega about it. I found it really weird after when I was in the PD and you guys were done with your conversation. You ran up to me, and the first thing you said to me, quote unquote, was, "I heard you were transferring to SAST. Good luck. I wish you a lot of luck, Mike." And I didn't really see as if that was really you coming over to wish me luck. I feel as if that was you hearing something throughout that conversation and you heard, oh, he's leaving, so let's go, push it more. Because at the end of the day, that's already been squashed since our meeting yesterday that I wasn't transferring. So I'm not even sure why that got brought up in the conversation again. But
I wasn't at that meeting.
I wasn't trying to go like any extra foot to like get you in trouble. I just wanted to talk to him in VC because I just don't like talking over text a lot. Just like I said, you just don't get the same emotions over.
At the end of the day, the main thing is that the corporals are responsible for the DFCs and anybody below them. Okay, and so it's a training opportunity. So my opinion was completely my opinion. This is my fucking opinion. I don't care. My opinion is you did nothing wrong in that situation. If I was in the same situation, I more than likely would have handled it exactly the same way. Number two, could you have done stuff differently? 100%. Whatever those people are on the ground, you should not have asked, oh, can I get my car painted? Can I do this? Can I do that? But that tow truck driver would have made me lose my fucking head. Okay? So that's where I'm at about it. And then Mike's opinion was, hey, this is what I'm seeing. Maybe we can train a little bit or talk a little bit. And that's what we do as supervisors. We come together, we talk about stuff, and we say, hey, just for instance, you did this wrong. Because at the end, whenever we do that, it's going to make you better, Mr. Black. It's going to make you a better officer. It's going to make you better everything. It's going to make Omega better. It's going to make Mike better. It's going to make Zeppelin, Morty, everybody that you're interacting with. Because everybody's going to have a different aspect, a different view on what's going on. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I don't think this conversation was a hindrance. I really hope you guys don't have any type of animosity between you guys because, like I said, I look forward to both of your careers growing at BCSO. But if BCSO is not where you want to be, I completely support that. I will never turn you guys down to go somewhere else and to grow and to be somebody different. But also at the very end of the day, we are all the fucking same department.
Yeah, like I tell everybody, and I mean it's the same thing with Paper. I mean, me and Paper stepped off on the wrong foot when I first met Paper. First very interaction I met Paper, we stepped off on the wrong foot. At the end of the day, I don't hold grudges. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna leave this conversation and be like, oh well, we just got done talking to Jamal. He probably looks at me this way. I'm not gonna think that. At the end of the day, if you have a question or something needs to happen, you need to talk. I'm always gonna be open for somebody to come up and ask me a question if you need help with something. But as a corporal, I do have to, still do my job and point out when things aren't being done right and step in and that kind of stuff. So don't think if I'm stepping in and pointing things out, I'm necessarily doing it just to point somebody out or point you out or pick on somebody. It's just because